parts of you to someone who only came to siphon comfort? You ever sit beside someone and still feel like you're in a room alone? It's not connection, that's starvation with a hand on your thigh.
Emotional warfare, masked in routine. They want attention, not intimacy. Say all the right shit, then vanish when it's real. They want easy, not depth. They want someone to orbit them, not someone who stands on their own. I won't shrink to be held. I gave too much to people who just came to be fed, not to feed, not to stay, just to taste and leave. And I'm done setting places for those who only ever bring appetite. I don't want to surface, I don't want stage. I want the kind of love that doesn't need masks, that shows up when it's hard. If you're not built to carry weight, then don't reach for what's heavy. I'd rather walk alone than be drained by tourists who call it love, but only show up for the light. I've watched myself fuck just to forget how hollow it feels. Watch myself stack bodies like validation receipts. They don't know connection, they know distraction. They say it's just how it is, but I felt real before, so try to sell me a knock.
I want it ugly and honest, not the Instagram version of love. Give me flaws, contradictions, rough edges that cut sometimes, but mean something. I want someone to agree with me. I want someone who meets me where I live, in the undercurrents, in the friction, where the real shit grows. And if I'm being honest, I crave a partner who could ruin me, but chooses not to. Who knows my weak points and doesn't twist them. Who doesn't panic when I unravel, but sits with me till I remember how to breathe again. Not someone who fades when the weight shows up, but someone who stays when I start to come apart. Not someone who folds when I'm unfiltered, but someone who holds her ground when I unravel and says I'm not leaving.
I don't want shallow, I don't want safety behind a lie. I want what scars and softens, what burns and rebuilds. If you can't stand inside the fire, don't ask to hold the flame. I'd rather walk alone than be kept around. Like distraction with benefits, I'm not a detour, I'm the fucking road. They tell you you're too much because they've never had to earn love, but I'm not begging, I'm not shrinking, I'm not sitting quiet in a room where no one wants to know who I am. I want a partner, not a passenger, not someone who dips the moment I stop performing their fantasy. If I undress my soul for you, you better not look away. I don't want convenience, I don't want leash-led affection. I want that kind of love that climbs down into the dark with me, not to fix me, just to be there. If that's too much, keep walking. I'd rather walk alone than waste what's sacred on someone's downplay and pretend. I'm not asking for perfect, I'm asking for presence. Someone who sees the cracks and doesn't mistake them for damage. Someone who wants to build, not drain. Someone who hears my silence and still chooses to stay because they know I'd do the same.
You always wanted real, and I thought I could give it, but I came with damage I hadn't figured out yet. And by the time I understood the cost, you'd already gone quiet. You showed up with everything, unfiltered, scarred, and wide open. And I showed up pretending I knew what that meant, but I didn't. I'd only ever known love that wanted the pretty parts. So when you handed me your chaos, I held it like a foreign language. I didn't leave because you were too much, I left because I wasn't enough. Didn't know how to stay, didn't know how to hold something real, so I backed away, called it space. But it was fear, not of you, of being seen, of not being ready to be loved like that. You You asked me to meet you in the dark, but I was still lying to myself in the light. You offered roots, I brought wind. I needed healing, but I made you my place to bleed. And when you bled back, I panicked. Didn't know love could look like that and still be love. I wanted to be the one who can meet your honesty with presence, but I kept myself in denial, thinking I had to be perfect instead of just showing the fuck. I didn't leave because you were broken. I left because I couldn't stand the mirror you held up to me. Didn't want you to see the truth, that I wasn't built for easy. I was just pretending to be strong. You were the fire, I was wet ash, trying to look like flame. If I could go back, I'd sit in the storm, say the things I swallowed, hold your anger, hold your silence, hold the version of you that didn't need fixing, just wanted to be met. And I'd stop trying to perform love and just love you. You asked for truth, I gave you performance. You asked for presence, I gave you potential. You deserve someone who didn't hide when it got messy. And I blinked, I folded, I broke, and you walked rightfully. I didn't leave because you weren't worth it. I left because I didn't know how to stay. And every time I see you, I remember what I ran from. Not a man, not a relationship, but the version of myself that couldn't hold something sacred, because she'd never been taught how you weren't too much, you were just too real. And I was still learning how to be anything but absent.